Why isn't giving birth as painful among the most common reason for not having children? I haven't personally experienced it, but it seems like giving birth is one of the most painful things you can experience. So logically you would expect it to be a very common reason why women don't want to have children. However, when listing reasons why they don't want children, women say things like I want to focus on career, I'm afraid of responsibility, overpopulation, etc., etc. Actually, I think I've never read any woman even mention pain among these reasons, let alone state it as the main reason. As someone who doesn't want kids, the pain honestly is not a factor to me. If anything, I'm more worried about potential medical side effects that last a lifetime. But more than any of that, I don't want to have a kid for the rest of my life. And that seems like a way bigger deal than a day or two of labor. If you've not had kids, you can't really imagine, don't really believe how bad it is. If you have had kids and you want more, your brain very weirdly makes you forget. Because 20 hours of labor is nothing compared to parenting a teenager. For me, the pregnancy and childbirth is the main reason I'd rather adopt. But if I didn't want kids, that would probably not be the reason. I think women who don't want children don't spend much time thinking about childbirth, because they just don't consider that to be information they need to retain. Personally, I want children, and if I were to list downsides of giving birth, the physical distortion of your body and possibility of becoming permanently disabled or incontinent would come to mind before the pain. In the US they give you hella painkillers for the pain. A few hours of pain is relatively speaking no big deal. Once it's over, it's over. The other consequences of childbirth are lifelong, so much more significant to the decision. I asked my mom when I was 7 if it hurt when she had my brother, and she was very honest. I said I am never having kids. Now I am 53, married, no kids. That's actually a big reason for me. Pregnancy and birth sound so terrifying. I don't know how I would consciously make the decision to put myself through it. Maybe someday. I'm still young. Nah. The pain is extensive, but it's temporary and there are ways of managing it. There are other reasons to be concerned about giving birth. It's one of the reasons I don't want children. I saw a birth in sex ed in 8th grade and that traumatized. Not going through that. If you ask women who have given birth what was harder, childbirth or the following, lack of sleep, for the next few weeks, months, they'll nearly unanimously put childbirth lower. There's so many greater things to disincentivize having kids that the discomfort from childbirth doesn't really rank that high. It's my main reason. The idea of pregnancy and giving birth terrifies me. Many times I've told PPL that was one of the main reason I don't want to birth and been scoffed at and called a wimp. IDK how not liking pain makes me a wimp, but I'm guessing it's some manly macho thing. Oh, it's in my top 3 reasons for never having any. Part of it might be that women's pain is generally not taken all that seriously. It's just a short period of time. So get an epidural, a cesarean. And I suspect people would come up with a lot other things to brush off pain as a factor of not wanting to give birth. I was nervous about giving birth, but I kept telling myself, well, she's gotta come out one way or another to radically accept it, lol. No, it's not the pain that scares me, it's the 9 months of being sick and emotional. I got so many health complications I'd never make it to childbirth. My wife doesn't abhor having children because of the pain of delivery. She doesn't want children because of the 9 months of being a glorified incubator followed by a lifetime of being bound to this new person. Pregnancy and birth are terrifying is pretty much top of my list for probably not having kids. Tied with who would I even have them with? Though not the general idea of pain. More risk of things like preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, tearing front to back. I'd be much more on board with having kids if I could be a father. For the child-rearing expectations too. I think women just don't talk about it because it's one of the more superficial and selfish reasons. To me, it's the main reason. I don't want to go through the horrors of pregnancy, the pain of giving birth, the hell of postpartum. I don't want to ruin my whole body forever for a child. My main source of happiness is being able to move my body freely and do whatever I want and look the way I want. If you really want kids, you'll have them regardless of the discomfort. For the record, I would do childbirth with epidural 3 times instead of 1 right now to get out of the last 3 months of pregnancy. Because pregnancy is also a major discomfort. Never mind the childbirth. If you don't want them, you won't care if it hurts or not. You don't want them. Avoiding the agony of having my cooter rip open alien style has always been the one reason I never in my life even considered having kids. For folks who like kids, it's a total year of discomfort or pain leading to an entire lifetime of joy. For a lot of people, that's a worthwhile sacrifice. Vice versa. It's a year of discomfort and pain. But that's not as worrisome as a lifetime of caring for another person. Or the possibility of dying. But either way, thank you for giving me another reason. I'm sure that many women consider that. However, pain is temporary. Many people don't really make life-changing decisions based on a few months of discomfort and a couple days of pain. Yeah, it hurts. But then it does not hurt.